Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be when you stop giving the narcissist chances. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So how many chances did you give that person to change? How many chances did you give that person to say the right thing, to do the right thing, to behave a proper way, to be transparent, to be forthright, to be genuine, to be honest, to be humble, to be committed? You gave them so many chances and more. Again, you weren't taught this in school, so you didn't know that the person you're considering was toxic, maybe even narcissistic. You didn't realize they couldn't change, they won't change, and they don't want to change. Back then when you were in the relationship, you were spinning your wheels. You were trying to fix an unfixable relationship. You were trying to put out all the fires that person was starting intentionally. You were experiencing, as I've shared for so many videos, death by 1,000 paper cuts. And I don't say that lightly because that's what you were going through. You kept on doing so many things for that person. You were elevating them. You were putting them high up on a pedestal to the detriment of yourself. You were believing in their words. You were believing in their actions or lack thereof. And you were not trusting your instincts or your intuition. And this all came to a head one day. It all ended just like that. That's called the discard, or that's called when you finally figured out who they were and what they were doing to you. You see, these people, i.e. the toxic people, they know what they're doing. They had done it long before they met you. They did it with you, and they're doing it right now if they're still gallivanting the globe somewhere. But back then, you were giving them chances because perhaps you were in love with them, or perhaps they told you that they loved you, or perhaps they acted 1 out of 1,000 times that they actually cared about you, or they said the right thing, or they were there for you that one time in the beginning of the relationship, which is known as the euphoric stage or the love bomb stage, and they hit you up when you were vulnerable. When I say hit you up, I mean maybe they gave you a shoulder to cry on, or maybe they gave you a ride to a funeral, or maybe they were there to support you when you were going through a breakup or you just got divorced. Well, you didn't know that person was laying or lying in wait. They were a wolf in sheep's clothing, just waiting to pounce on you. They were waiting for you to remove somebody from your life, or someone was removed. Maybe someone passed and you had a death in the family. And then this person who turned out to be toxic, they struck and they insidiously crept into your life. And they were taking more from you each and every day that you were in that relationship, which includes your time, your health, your money, your energy, your love, your empathy, your relationships, and so much more. They knew what they were doing. And this is how the narcissist gets people to enter relationships with them. They strike and they prey upon the vulnerable, the naive, the trusting, the people who have high level of empathy, and the people who want to be in a relationship, or people that are believing in the mask and believing in all the false rhetoric that the narcissist is telling them. You must remember the narcissist is a shapeshifter. They are a dark energy source, and they're looking for something like that, the beautiful, bright, shining light, which is you. And they're trying to capture that and use that as a fuel source to take them from one leg of their life to the next leg of their life. And they will take any chance that they are presented under the sun to get whatever they want. As soon as they take advantage of that chance, which was the relationship they were in with you, as soon as they get whatever they want, then they usually discard that person. They crumble them up like a sheet of paper, they throw them away in the freeway, and they wash, rinse, repeat, or rinse, wash, repeat with a new source of supply or a recycled source of supply. But any way you cut it, any way you look at it, you kept on being committed in that relationship, thinking that person would change, thinking that person could change, thinking that there was some goodness inside of them, and that person you saw in the euphoric stage, that they really did exist and they were trapped inside of that person's body. Well, now you know that was an illusion. It was a facade. It was a house of cards. It was smoke and mirrors. It was the narcissist wearing a mask to press any button they could to get you as close to them as they possibly could before they struck, before they got their dirty fangs sunken into you. Again, you most likely were vulnerable, you were naive, you were new in the area, you were new in the building, you were new at the job, you were new in the city, town, state, country, jurisdiction, wherever you were, or maybe you had just lost a loved one. Maybe it was a spouse of 10 years or 15 years, or maybe it was a sibling, or maybe it was one of your parents, maybe you just lost a best friend. Who knows what happened, but I can assure you one thing. The narcissists used their sixth sense to get as close to you as possible, and they took every chance that was presented to them to learn all about you. You may say, what do you mean learn about? me? Why did they learn about me? Well, remember, the narcissist was probably studying you before you even knew that they existed, or before you knew that they were going to try and enter a relationship with you. Many times the narcissist will appear after decades. The bells are ringing just for you. They will appear after decades, and they will use a sob story, which may or may not be true. And they will appear at things like these: funerals, graduations, or reunions, I should say, or at weddings, or at celebrations, or at events that you wouldn't expect them. Or maybe they go back to their own haunts, which would be maybe the old town that they're from, or the old church, or the old job site, or the old ballpark. Whatever they do, they like to recycle not only people, but places that they were familiar with in the past. And again, what the narcissist wants to do is inflict as much damage upon anybody they get close enough to. And once they pepper that person with enough abuse and take whatever they can from them, they usually slither off onto a new source of supply, and then they let time go by. And as they let time go by, that person, which was you, and it certainly was me, we are left holding the bag. We're left having to heal from that relationship, having to find that needle in a haystack and put ourselves back together and understand what had just happened to us. As we are doing that, the narcissist is doing what? That's right. They are taking advantage of other chances that other people are giving them. Now, I shared with you earlier today, or this evening, different kinds of sources of supply. Well, the new supply specifically is one of three people. They're either a recycled source of supply, which means they know who the narcissist is and they haven't broken the trauma bond, or they didn't figure it out. They're a new person, which is probably who you were, or they're a toxic person, which is who you aren't. Any way you cut it, the narcissist is either punishing somebody or they're being punished for being in whatever relationship they are in, because the narcissist doesn't want stability. They don't want commonplace. They don't want togetherness, growth, abundance, commitment. They don't want transparency, and they don't want you to ever figure out who they are or what they have done. Back then, again, you weren't taught this in school, you didn't know it, but now that you do know it and you've identified who that person was, or perhaps who the person is you're considering right now, you need to stop taking chances on them. You need to stop giving them chances. You need to close the doors and the avenues of communication that were and or perhaps still are open to them. Because if you leave any door of communication open with a toxic person, you're essentially giving them a chance to come back and try to enter a relationship with you, or to string you along, or to get money from you, or to steal your time, or to gather or cultivate information from you and about you to weaponize it against you at a later date, or maybe even today. No good deed goes unpunished when you're in these relationships. No good deed goes unpunished when you're in the proximity of a toxic person. The toxic person you're considering, they're envious of you. They are jealous of you. Many times they want to be you, but what they don't want is you to be yourself. This is why when you're in these relationships, these people, i.e. the narcissist, they want indentured servants. They want walking apologies, which means people just walk around, apologize all the time and turn a blind eye and don't trust their instincts or intuition. They want a sounding board. They want someone to regulate them. They want the unpaid helper, and they want someone to be there at their beck and call 24/7. And this is how the narcissist grooms people. This is how they trap people, because people continue to give the narcissist chances. And you may say, you know what, you're absolutely spot on, Andrew. This person that I'm considering, they have been given so many chances in life, so many job opportunities, so many romantic relationships. All their siblings have given up on them, but they always come back, or they're given so many chances in the community. Why is that? Well, there's one word, and it's called toxicity. You see, the narcissist uses their charm. They use their information. They use their sixth sense. They use weapons. They abuse people. They put people in awkward positions. They are playing a mental game of chess, but usually, before you get the wisdom, they are 3, 4, 5, 7 steps ahead of an average human being. Once you get the wisdom and you apply the tools, it's checkmate. You win. Game, set, match. They are now cornered and they have nowhere to go other than down to that low vibrational quagmire state where they exist. Again, life isn't a game. Life is meant to be experienced, to be relished, to be enjoyed, and to be cherished. That's not how the narcissist looks at life. They look at life as a way to punish people who have things that they don't have, which is what? That's right. It's that beautiful, bright, shining light. That's what you have. That's what I have. And the narcissists try to extinguish this from you, but they failed. And yes, they failed miserably, and they never thought you would break the trauma bond. They didn't think you would heal. They didn't think you would figure out who they were. They never, and I mean never, thought you would stop giving them chances. But that's what you've done, or that's what you're doing. So when you remove these toxic parasites from your life and you stop giving them chances, then they have nowhere else to go other than to slither off onto other sources of supply and try to take from those people. And you may say, I wish it wasn't that way, that, well, they're going to get away from me. That's a good thing, but they're going to still have to go and abuse somebody else. Unfortunately, that's reality. That's how these people slither their way through life. But my hope is that you understand that you can only control what you can control, and you have to put yourself first, second, and third, and stop giving toxicity chances. If you leave the door open just a crack, they will try to kick it wide open at a later date when you're least expecting it. Or perhaps you will keep yourself stuck because you left the door open a crack and you're wondering where they are. Why didn't they hoover me? Don't they care about me? I can't believe they're not contacting me. It's been so long. Maybe they really didn't love me. Well, when you wrap your head around what narcissism is at its core, they don't care about anybody but themselves. So stop holding out thinking that the narcissist loves you. Stop holding out thinking that they care about you. Stop holding out thinking that you can change them or that they can change. You need to stop giving any toxic person chances, which means deny them access to you, your whereabouts, your hobbies, your health, who you're dating, where you're living, what you're doing to earn money, and anything else about you. If the narcissist can get their grubby little paws sunken back into you, who knows how it will end this time. That's why you need to not tempt fate. You need to go no contact, block that person, delete them, remove them and all fly monkeys, get off the radar of them, heal properly, and stop giving them chances. And you need to begin to continue to focus on yourself and shine higher than the sun, the moon, the stars, and everything in between. And don't ever, and I mean ever, again in your life, allow somebody to ever dim you or your beautiful, bright, shining light. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Stop giving the narcissist chances. This is how you remove these people from your life. In the beginning, you may not be accustomed to it. It may be foreign territory for you. Example, maybe one of your adult children is the narcissist and you're used to giving them money or being there to pay their phone bill or to buy them a bus ticket to come visit you for Christmas or Easter, whatever it is. Well, when you stop doing that and you realize that what you're doing is you're actually fueling the cycle of abuse, that's a good thing when you stop helping toxicity. You need to begin to focus on yourself, conserve your energy, conserve your time, conserve your money, and conserve your mindset, and begin to live a fruitful, abundant life, and continue, and I mean continue, to shine higher than the sun, the moon, and the stars, because that is you, the beautiful, bright, shining light. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.